When it comes to Christmas and the holidays, we all have our favorite movies. And in fact, there have been like the biggest and greatest movies of all time. But what if I were to tell you the following question? Have you thought about the top 3 Latino Christmas movies of all time? Stay tuned because HSL starts right now. Welcome back. I'm Dr. Mario, your show host here at Health, Spice, and Life. You know, this is something that it's kind of interesting to me, thinking about what are the movies in the Latino world that are somehow close to or resemble the top movies in the American world. So when we think about the Hollywood movies and we talk about Christmas, we have to right away travel to 1983 and talk about A Christmas Story. In this particular movie, Ralphie Parker, the little boy, goes in this journey as a child about his hopes and dreams and thinking about what was going to be his favorite top toy in that particular Christmas. So the movie revolves around that, and it's a complete, super awesome classic for this time of the year. Now, we travel a little bit forward and we go into 1990, and many of you might have seen the movie Home Alone, where the star Macaulay Culkin is in this movie, and what happens is that his family, all of them are going to be taking a trip to Europe, and they forget the little boy Kevin. So the movie revolves around what are all the things that he has to do during this time that the family is away, essentially to survive. I don't want to spoil it for you. Then we go a little bit forward and we go to 2003 and we go to the famous movie Elf. Here we are. The protagonist is Will Ferrell, and this is an interesting one because this is a little orphan, is a little newborn essentially, that gets adopted by Santa and his elves and pretty much raised in the North Pole. And then he actually comes back to his life as a human to discover where he came from and what his family was. It is an absolute classic. But the question is, do we have in the Latino world any movies that in any way, shape, or form get us close to those? Well, not exactly, but that's actually great because it creates tremendous contrast. So now from Hollywood, I'm going to take you to HSL's Latinwood, if you will. So bear with me. So the first movie that we're going to be talking about is actually called Nothing Like the Holidays. And this is actually, if you were to translate that into Spanish, it would say something like Nada como las fiestas de Navidad. And it's actually interesting because it's a little bit sarcastic, and this is all a Latino cast. It's a Puerto Rican family that they travel to the city of Chicago in the state of Illinois here in the United States, and they go through all sorts of dramas as they go through the holidays. And maybe you can relate to some of that. Everybody's kind of looking to the holidays, but then maybe you're going to be seeing some of those family members that perhaps you don't really like that much, but now it's a holiday, so you have to see them. And I think Puerto Ricans are actually, we're pretty spicy as Latinos are. So this is actually a really funny movie that creates a bit of a classic in the Latino movie world. Now, from there, we go to another movie which is actually a Mexican production. And this is an interesting one because it's a cross-cultural experience. And this particular movie is called Feliz Navidad, Merry Christmas. So basically there you have the cross-cultural piece of it and the bilingual nature. And this is about a boy that is being raised here in the United States and goes to Mexico to spend the holidays with the family that belongs to the mother's side. And you actually get to see the blending of cultures. You get to see part of the traditions in the Mexican culture, which is really, really fun. And it's not really a huge production, but there's a lot of richness to it, so that's actually a great one. And I like the fact that it has that bilingual nature to it, because many Latinos who live here in the United States, we have that duality where we hold very dearly to those Spanish roots, Latino roots, but also we embrace the aspect of the non-Hispanic culture. Then we go to another movie, which is an interesting but a little more of a devilish movie, and this is called Santa Claus. And this particular one is also a Mexican production produced and directed by René Cardona. And this particular one is almost like the Grinch meets the Latin American version of Santa Claus, because the devil himself is actually trying to get rid of Santa Claus and get rid of the entire tradition of the Christmas Day. So there you have a bit of a counterpoint, if you will, to having the American classics and then having the Latin spin on the Christmas tradition. So I'm looking forward to seeing what your comments are going to be. And if you have not been able to see some of the shows, follow us on Facebook, go to Instagram, and also see us on YouTube, because we have a bunch of the different episodes that we've been doing here at Health, Spice, and Life Show. So looking forward to your comments, seeing what has actually inspired you. And if you have not seen some of the Anglo movies, the American movies, go ahead and take a look at them, because they're really, really fun. And then just binge on the Latino side of the Christmas portion of not Hollywood, but Latinwood. This is Dr. Mario, and as I like to say on every single show, at the very end, de mi corazón, from my heart, a tu corazón, to your heart, I am Dr. Mario saying, a tu salud, to your health. Merry Christmas, and see you next time.